Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another draft analysis over here on the channel. My name is cBAD, coach of the Detroit Steel Wings, and we are here today with the Ultimate Battle League Season 5 draft analysis. I hope you guys are excited. If you guys are, show some love on that like button down below. If you guys are new, you guys like draft league content, do not forget to subscribe because these battles are going up every Sunday for your faces here against some of the best players in league format. I'm very super excited. I can also grammar very well. Hi, I'm very excited to be playing against some of these teams here, and I really love the team that we put together today. If you guys missed the draft stream that took place yesterday, we're going to be going through our 11 picks here. If you guys are not familiar with draft league content, if this is your first adventure into it and you're like, what is this? I have no idea. Tell me a little bit more about it. So myself and I believe 15 other coaches, there were 16 of us in total, but myself and 15 other coaches get a draft order 1 through 16, and it goes 1 down to 16, 16 back to 1, and we do that 11 times while we pick Pokemon, and these Pokemon are tiered with certain points, and of those points we are given 1100 total to pick 11 Pokemon and draft the best 11 that we can. And each week we are going to craft the 6 Pokemon we think we can do to take on any combination of my opponent's 11 Pokemon. So that's the gist of draft league Pokemon. If you guys want to check out the official website for the UBL, the link will be in the description, as well as any other links for the league itself. You guys can check out any of the other coaches as well if you guys want to check out who I'm participating in this league against. It is going to be a little bit of a shorter season. It is an 8-week season, so mainly to get everybody prepared for the Crown Tundra DLC that is hopefully coming soon. But a little bit of a shorter season, but a lot of us are really excited to hop into it and get one more league under our belts before the next wave of DLC drops. So I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. Going into this draft, you guys know I'm very comfortable with our past leagues, with the NCP, the National Competitive Pokemon League, with the BBR, the Breejex Battle Royale, and I'm very comfortable with weather. And in this league, I kind of wanted to give it another try. I've done not necessarily hail, but I have definitely I do enjoy weather, and I think Sword and Shield has been a really nice meta for me. I don't know where the light switch hit from other generations up until this, but it's been very nice, and I wanted to try out some new stuff. And I have tried this offensive, I have tried this weather before in previous leagues, so it's not something 100% new, but there are a lot of new mons. I think I've drafted one other of these mons personally before, and I think I've taken over a league that had one of these mons before. So of the 11, I have used actually 4 of these before, I believe I've used. So majority are new users, which I'm very excited about. I always enjoy having some comfortability with some Pokemon, but I also like trying out new things and seeing how we do. So going into this, we were the 10th pick overall. We were 10th overall, I believe. And we had some people going before us. And if you guys are curious about what the points are and what the tiers are, again, check out the Draft League website. But what I do want to say also before we hop into it, don't forget, pick up some Detroit Steel Wings merchandise that helps keep the lights on around here. If you guys are watching this video, you guys can use code UBL10 to save 10% off for the next week up until the first week of Wi-Fi battles goes up. So if that tickles your fancy, save a little bit off the top, pick up a shirt for the season. But now that being said, we're going to start talking about the draft. So what I do want to say is, going into this, a lot of heavy hitters went. You know, we allowed things like Urshifus, we allowed things like Dracovish, I believe Melmetal was also involved in there as well. So a lot of heavy hitters that were otherwise banned from common leagues like the WBE. So we had to kind of play around that. You know, your Dragapults got drafted, your Zeraoras got drafted. So I wanted something that was very reliable. I wanted something that could pretty much show up almost every week, if not every week, and provide some sort of role to the team, whether it be defensive, whether it be offensive, whether it be utility, whether it can sweep, whether it can be supportive. You know, I really wanted something along those lines. So the first Pokemon we ended up grabbing overall is Excadrill. Wanted to make sure that it appeared right on screen. I'm trying something new with the recording here. So first Pokemon we grabbed was Excadrill. Excadrill was a 180 point pick of our 1100. Excadrill is ground steel type, or steel ground type Pokemon. It's got some really nice stats overall. It's got a huge, thick, fat HP stat, 110 base HP, 135 attack, and then it has 88 speed. So not the fastest thing in the world naturally, but it does have 3 really awesome abilities. It has Sand Rush, which when under sand does allow it to have its speed then doubled underneath that. I believe it tops out about 300 plus speed overall at level 50, which is incredible. Sand Force does allow it to get an extra boost on top of its ground, rock, or steel type moves. And then Mold Breaker ignores the abilities of another Pokemon. So something that's very common is something like a Levitate user, which would naturally be immune to ground type attacks. We can use our Mold Breaker ability and hit that with an earthquake, which is really, really nice. It acts as a very reliable stealth rocker, which is always really coveted. I know a lot of people can run heavy duty boots, and that's been a real big preference, not only of my own, but for some other people to run as well. So stealth rocks may not be as important as they used to be in prior generations, but they're still nice to have in general, especially for those Pokemon that, you know, you really just want a little bit of chip damage. Another really good thing that Excadrill brings to the table is that it's an incredibly good rapid spinner. And on top of being an incredibly good rapid spinner, the buff that rapid spin got this generation, not only in base power, but also boosting the speed stage by 1 after going for a rapid spin, really just provides that much more benefit to the Pokemon itself. You know, it acts as an electric immunity. It acts as a really good fairy resist and a very good offensive Pokemon to help deal with fairies, which are really otherwise very powerful in Draft League meta. I really enjoyed this pick overall. I really think that it was, you know, at the time of the draft, if you guys watch the full draft stream, you'll see that the next pick after me actually chose Dracovish. I picked up Excadrill over Dracovish. I don't think that was a bad idea. You know, I joke in the front office that shout out to Eric, by the way, who's helping me build teams for this league and the other leagues as well. But I joke with the front office that if Dracovish was, or if something just absolutely broken was allowed, you know, it's almost illegal not to pick it. Well, I broke the law and I didn't pick Dracovish when it was on the table, but very confident in Excadrill. I've used it before. I think it's a very, very solid Pokemon to grab first overall. And it really did dictate the next picks as well as some supporting picks as well. So taking a look at Excadrill, you know, it obviously does help out with fairies, but bulky grass Pokemon and bulky water Pokemon, it has a little bit of a hard time dealing with, you know, especially if they're the, you know, if they can just really take those hits and shrug them off, you know, built-in recovery and stuff like that. Can shrug off Life Orb, Earthquakes. Iron Heads really don't do as much. Knockoffs they can probably shrug off. So we needed a Pokemon that really kind of helps out with that. Being able to hit, we already have a monster attacker on the physical side, you know, so being able to hit both these grass types and these water types from the special side would be really, really nice. So the next Pokemon we ended up drafting was Toxicity. Toxicity, if you guys are not familiar with my content, or if you guys only prefer my competitive stuff and didn't watch any of my Let's Plays, I do talk about it in my Let's Plays quite a bit. Toxicity stole my heart and is my favorite Pokemon of all time now. I absolutely love it. I think it's the coolest Pokemon. I think when it Dynamaxes and it like plays the strings on its chest, like that's so cool. The Gigantamax form is awesome, but here in a Draft League meta, it has 114 base special attack. It has the Punk Rock ability boosting its signature move Overdrive, as well as a few other sound-based moves. It has access to set up and shift gear, and really it does what Excadrill cannot do, which is break naturally bulky grass and bulky water type Pokemon with its dual poison electric stab, being able to go for a sludge wave, being able to go for an overdrive, being able to pivot around with things like Volt Switch as well is really nice, being able to have access to Boom Burst to just hit really hard, Punk Rock boosting those sounds naturally, just naturally getting more offensive pressure off of that with its signature ability is really nice. It is kind of slow. It is again, it's a base 75 speed, so if we do want this to be like kind of a fast sweeper, we do need to go for a shift gear. There has been a set that's been going around. I think I've seen it in the OU tier where it's a shift gear set and it carries Drain Punch as well for recovery, for helping out with like Tyranitar and stuff that's in the meta. So being able to keep that in mind, that it's got base 98 attack as well. So going for a shift gear, someone might expect us to go for a special attacking set, but we can also potentially bring a physical attacking set as well, which is really, really nice. Being able to boost that naturally. Nothing too crazy to say. I think grounded poison types are a necessity in Draft League, and the reason for that is toxic spikes can be very crucial if you do not bring the right hazard removal on the team. So naturally absorbing toxic spikes is always a great thing. And I think the main thing here is that Toxicity and Excadrill really pair together nicely to provide a very nice offensive synergy against the team. Now, the thing that Toxicity does have a weakness to, a glaring weakness to, is that 4 times ground weakness, which Excadrill shares as well. Toxicity does take the fighting weakness off of Excadrill, but we don't really have a good fire check on the team right now. We need some kind of, I want to get a little bit more support on the team at this point. Being able to assist in any sort of setup with Toxicity, being able to set up with any, being able to assist with any setup with Excadrill could be really nice as well. I also stressed the importance when I was talking about Excadrill about how fairy type Pokemon are very common, are very powerful in league format. So we do want to get a, a Pokemon that can that is a fairy type and that is able to help out with that. I'd also like a Pokemon that Excadrill is resisted to that psychic attack that the Toxicity is weak to, but a Pokemon I always think that I've learned my lesson that a psychic immunity is very good to have. So the next Pokemon that we are picking up is going to be Grimsnar. Grimsnar is 140 points, so we're leaning a little top heavy right now. We've got 3 Pokemon that are over 100 points already so far. We have almost half of our points depleted in 3 picks, so we do need to keep in mind about that. But Grimsnar is a fantastic Pokemon. Grimsnar is a Dark and Fairy type Pokemon with access to Prankster. It has access to both dual screens. It can provide a ton of niche supportive sets with its Prankster ability being able to go off of there. It's very naturally bulky. 95 base HP, 65 defense, and 75 special defense is pretty nice in my opinion, especially when you compare that with screens. When you have access to priority bulk up, you do get access to moves like the Spirit Break, which is the physical fairy move, which is really, really nice. Priority and Sucker Punch, being able to go for a Prankster Taunt is really nice as well. Like I said, it provides, so it's not only going to provide a Dragon immunity, it's going to provide a Psychic immunity. It's going to provide a Ghost resist as well. It does pair off very nicely, I feel like, and it allows us to kind of shrug off some hits that Excadrill and Toxicity might not want to take. We can go for a screen, hopefully boost those 2 Pokemon to put them into a little bit more of a sweeping potential. There's a few more things that I like about Grimsnar that I don't want to go into, mainly because I don't want to show my hand the entire time and during this draft analysis, but I do want to kind of explain, of course, the Pokemon and why I picked them. So taking a look at this now, we only have 1 Hazard Setter, an Excadrill. We've got a really solid Steel and Fairy type right now, and I really would like a Dragon type. But like I said, we're leaning a little top heavy right now. So the next Pokemon I wanted to grab, I wanted it to be able to take some hits. I wanted it to be able to potentially set some hazards as well. And if I could, I really would like it to be able to complement the Fairy and Steel type that we already have on the team. So the next Pokemon we drafted is Dracogon. Dracogon has 3 fantastic abilities in Draft League format. It has access to Rough Skin, providing it as a good defensive wall. Any contact with that Pokemon does do 1/6 of its overall HP. It has access to Sheer Force, which essentially acts as a built-in life orb, where if the attacking move has a secondary effect, the secondary effect is voided out, and you get an extra 30% boost on your move, which is really, really great. And then similar to Excadrill, we also do have access to Mold Breaker as well. So that same scenario of going for Earthquake on a Levitate Pokemon, we are able to go on ahead and just attack that straight out. Another common thing is potentially Magic Bounce users. We are able to set up hazards in front of with that Mold Breaker. We are able to ignore any sort of thick fat with our attacking moves and things of that nature as well. It's really great. Another 120 base attack. I don't think I said this in Grimsnar. Grimsnar has 120 base attack. Dracogon also has 120 base attack. So we've got some bulky Pokemon that can hit really, really hard. Dracogon has access to quite a few different coverage moves and opportunities. It can set up rocks. It can go for glare. It can phase out with things like Dragon Tail as well. I think it's a very solid Pokemon, and I think that it does help out, and it kind of forms that really nice offensive Fairy Steel Dragon core. We're looking a little bit like bulky offense, and I really would like a Pokemon that kind of just comes in and acts as a really good defensive check to some of these Pokemon, you know? I also stress when I talk about Toxicity, the importance of having not only a grounded poison type Pokemon, but I also think being able to set toxic spikes is very sometimes overlooked in Draft League. You know, if you don't have the proper removal for that, and all of a sudden your Pokemon start getting damaged and worn down by toxic spikes and getting that poison damage off, it can be kind of crucial to counteract that and kind of prep for that. So want a little bit more bulk. I'd like it if someone could set toxic spikes. I'd like to be able to kind of shrug off some of the weaknesses that we have right now. So next Pokemon that we have here, we have Caphagus. Now, Caphagus is another 80 type pick, or 80 point pick, excuse me. While it does not have a very solid attack stat in 50, it's got base special attack in 95. But here's the thing. 145 base defense and 105 base speed. Holy crap, that thing is a monster. It's got the mummy ability, so when you make physical contact with it, your ability becomes nullified. So something like a Sheer Force Pokemon attacking us, their Sheer Force ability will be nullified. They will no longer get that additional 30% boost. The flip side of that coin is obviously the secondary effects of that move do come back into play, but that does help out in certain instances with being able to remove Pokemon's abilities that might otherwise prove beneficial to their team. It does have access to Toxic Spikes, which is really, really nice. And honestly, it is such a good bulky Pokemon. It is weak to Dark and Ghost, and guess what? Grimmsnarl resists both Dark and Ghost, which is absolutely incredible. So we've got a really nice kind of pseudo defensive core right there between Grimsnarl and Caphagus. Being able to go for knockoff, being able to Will-O-Wisp, we can Trick Room, we can Memento, we can do a lot of really cool stuff with Caphagus. I really do like it. One of the things that I do want to point out, we still do not have a ground immunity on the team. So Excadrill still get like ground, like just Earthquake being the very easily spammable move that it is. We need a Pokemon that can be immune to that. We also would like our only hazard removal at this time is still Rapid Spinning Excadrill, which really isn't what we want. We don't want Excadrill to be forced to run Rapid Spin each week. So Some additional hazard removal will be really nice. And again, another thing I would like with Caphagus, as well as Dracogon and Grimsnar, pretty much any of our Pokemon, but as far as our defensive Pokemon, they don't have as much built-in recovery as I'd like, so I'd like to be able to wish past some of those Pokemon. The next Pokemon that we're grabbing is Zatu. Zatu's a 60-point pick. It is a Psychic Flying type Pokemon, so we do have that ground immunity there. Zatu does have Magic Bounce, which any non-attacking moves, so for example, think Stealth Rock, think Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave, Parting Shot, any moves that would affect me but do not attack me, like hurt damage-wise, those are then bounced back to my opponent. So we have built-in hazard deterrence there by being able to go for Magic Bounce. We also do have access to Defog if we don't manage to make that play and switch in on those attacking moves if they do get hazards up. Being able to go for our own Defogs will be really nice. We do have another Pokemon that has access to Light Screen and Reflect, so if Grimsnar does not show up that week or it does not feel like carrying those screens, we do have access to set up with both of those. We do have Tailwind support with this as well. I actually, as the time of recording this, recently faced a Scarf Zatu, which was terrifying. So it can also be a really, a Scarf set. It's got base 95 speed. So for a defensive Pokemon, that's pretty fast in my opinion. So it's actually the fastest Pokemon we've drafted so far outside of Sand. So with Zatu being the fastest, we'll look to pick up some additional speed later on, but as of right now, it's looking really, really nice. It can wish support, it can calm mind, it can do a lot of stuff. It has access to teleport as well, which is a -6 priority pivot move, which will be really nice to help out and get some of our breakers in later in the game. I really like it. I think Zatu is going to be really, really fun. Magic Bounce is pretty much what I'll run, but it does have access to Synchronize and Early Bird as well. Magic Bounce really being the staple ability that it is going to be really nice. Now, we've got a sand Pokemon and we need some sand here, and I don't want to spend the rest of my budget on Tyranitar, and I don't want to cheap out and go for Hippopotas. So the next Pokemon that we grabbed here, we've got Giggleth. Giggleth is slowly becoming more of a favorite of mine, really. I've had to build around it a few times now, and when I plan for it, I'm like, God, that's just a really solid Pokemon in general. Giggleth is pure rock type. It has base 85 attack, base 85 HP, 135 attack. Now our fourth Pokemon with above 100 attack, 120 and up attack, 130 defense and 80 special defense, which gets boosted by our own Sandstream, which is fantastic. So it's a very bulky Pokemon. It does set the sand for our Excadrill. It does help take off some of those special, or take off some of those hazard, the pressure for hazards on Pokemon like Excadrill, on Pokemon like Dracogon if we don't feel like running rocks on those. Giggleth is a very, very reliable stealth rocker. It can shrug off a little bit of special hits with that built-in bulk, alongside being able to boost its own special defense with the Sandstream being a rock type. Another thing that it does, so Caphagus is really weak to, it's got that Giggleth and Excadrill, on top of being ground, also have a really bad fighting weakness. A good fighting type can really just come in and take care of both of those. Being able to pair Giggleth with Caphagus is going to be very, very nice. I feel like being able to run that dual pair right there to help out. Another thing that it has access to, it can body press, it can rest, it can rock blast, it can stealth rock, it can boom. But Giggleth is a very solid sand setter, and it's not your Hippopotas. I didn't want to grab another ground type to, just set sand. Giggleth does have offensive pressure in my opinion, and I think it's something that people got to prepare for. Moving into this now, we're down to about 340 points, and we got 4 picks left. So we're very slow right now. We're very, very slow right now. I'd like a little bit more defense. We've got a lot of offensive capabilities here. I'd like a little bit more defense, because right now a good water type really just comes in and cleans up shop right now. So I'd like a grass type Pokemon, and taking a look around, there are a few grass types that I wanted to pick, but one really caught my eye. And the reason for that is because it's one of the few Pokemon that I've used before that I thoroughly, thoroughly love. Pairing this thing with an Eviolite makes it defensively like one of the most insane Pokemon you ever have to deal with in draft league format in general. Grab Tangela. Now, 40 points. 40 points is the lowest Pokemon I picked on there, and I think Tangela at 40 points frankly is undervalued. Being able to pair this thing with an Eviolite gives its 115 base defense. It takes hits from Dracovish. It takes hits from Urshifu. It can take one hit from a Scarf Darmanitan. Not many. Tangela is the only grass type in the game that I believe can say confidently, I can take a Scarf Flare Blitz and do something in return. So Tangela is great. It's got the Regenerator ability. It has access to almost the same amount of coverage that Tangrowth has. Pretty much Leech Seed, Knock Off, your grass moves, your poison moves, I think it gets Focus Blast as well. I could be wrong about that, but it does things that bulky grass Pokemon need to do. It needs to provide a little bit more defensive backbone for the team. It needs to provide some status moves where it can, and it needs to be able to click knockoff. So I was really happy with Tangela. Quite frankly, I was really happy we got that. We're 8 picks in, and I do not have a water type as of yet. So ice isn't looking too good against us right now. The dual combination of water ice really just does some damage to us, and I'd like a bulky water type. And looking around, I gotta be honest, pick number 9 I was thrilled about, because I've always seen people draft really high budget regenerator cores, and I can't say that I've ever gone for like the Slowbro Tangrowth pick, where it's like, or like the Amoonguss Slowbro, or Tornadus Slowbro, things like Mienshao, like all these common regenerator Pokemon. So I was really happy to grab this next Pokemon. The next Pokemon that we grabbed is Slowking. Slowking has a base 110 special defense, 100 special attack, and it also has access to regenerator. So we now have 2 fantastic regenerator mons, one that takes physical hits and one that takes special hits really well. We've got a lot of our common weaknesses patched up right now. We do have access to teleport, we have access to slack off, we can do calm mind shenanigans, we can just toss off scalds pretty freely, we can be a bulky water type Pokemon like we need to be, which I'm, like I said, absolutely thrilled about. I don't think there's too much to say about this. A good bulky water, 2 regenerator Pokemon on top of our already stacked team, in my opinion. I think it looks really nice. With we've got 180 points left, and I'd like a little bit more offense, and I'd like a little bit more speed, because again, right now Zatu's the fastest thing on our team naturally, which again, when I say that, they're like, really? Like Zatu's the fastest Pokemon? So I'd like some Pokemon that are a little bit faster, and I'd like a little bit more offensive pressure here. The next Pokemon that we drafted was Excadrill. Excadrill has a base 145 speed, which is insane. It's faster than Zeraora, it's faster than Dragapult. I absolutely love it. We have access to hydration, which cures our status in the rain. Sticky hold, which means we don't lose our item, and unburden, that when our item is no longer there, our speed is then doubled, which blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. So that's really awesome. It's super fast. It's got some really niche coverage moves as well. It acts as a fast special attacker. It has access to toxic spikes and regular spikes as well. So we do have access to all form of ground entry hazards aside from sticky webs, which is really nice. Being able to go for priority moves with Water Shuriken could be beneficial. It's got base 70 attacks, so it's not doing that crazy damage, but it still does have access to that priority as well. Your first turn final gambits always take people for surprise. Just being able to toss off some really nice moves with Bug Buzz, Energy Ball, and picking up some of those offensive coverages that we didn't have yet. The next and last Pokemon that we have, we've got 100 points here. Excadrill is our only sand abuser at this point, and again, I stress the importance of I'd like a little bit more speed and I'd like a little bit more offense. The last Pokemon that we drafted is actually Lykan Rock Midday, the regular, the OG Lykan Rock itself. Now, Lykan Rock already, first off, it is the discounted version of Lykan Rock Dusk. I love Lykan Rock Dusk because of Tough Claws, but hear me out. Lykan Rock Day has access to Accelerock. It can set up Stealth Rocks. It has 115 base attack and 112 base speed, so it is now the second fastest Pokemon on our team, and it is now the 5th Pokemon with above base 100 attack on our team. It has quite a few good physical contact moves, things like Close Combat, Fire Fang, Crunch, Drill Run, Stone Edge. It has I touched base that it has that built-in priority, or it has that priority move in Accelerock, so that can be very nice as well. It also has access to Sand Rush, which is 112 base speed, then in the sand is nightmarish. Absolutely nightmarish. You can't outspeed that. Like, that's like Swift Swim Barraskewda is the only Pokemon that immediately comes to mind, or Unburden Excelgor are the only Pokemon that can outspeed that with like naturally, without like a bunch of setup, which is crazy in my opinion. So I thought that was really nice. It means we can pretty much, if we're bringing Sand Run Adamant Lycan Rock each week, which really kind of wets my whistle a little bit, because 115 base attack, you want to run Adamant each week. There's really not a reason to run Jolly unless you don't have the sand. So Lycan Rock's great. It acts as another Stealth Rocker, so we now have 4 incredibly good Stealth Rockers, which means we can pretty much afford to bring in set Stealth Rocks each week. We've got some really hard-hitting Pokemon. We've got some really good defensive Pokemon. I'm really happy with this team. I truthfully think that this is probably one of the better teams that I've drafted, and I really am just excited to get into these matches and have some fun with some other coaches. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please let me know your guys' thoughts on the team in the comment section down below. If there's anything I missed, if you have any questions, let me know. Of course, check out the Draft League website. The link will be in the description so you guys can keep up with the matches each week. Check out the coaches, subscribe to your favorites. And then, like I said, use code UBL10 to save 10% on your Detroit Steel Wings merchandise for the next week. That is 7 days only. Come next Sunday. Unfortunately, that code will no longer be active. So Pick it up while you can. Thank you guys for watching. I truly hope you guys have enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day. As always, I want to remind you guys to be great and do great. I'm going to let this outro bang. I'm going to talk to y'all soon. Later.